Shalom friends, I am your friend Jojo from Malut Advance, and I'm here to share a word of encouragement from the Torah portion, Pekudei. The Torah portion comes from Exodus 38 verse 21 to 40 verse 38 and 1 Kings 7 40 to 50. Now, Exodus 40 verse 3 makes mention that Moses finished the work. Remember, God had given him the task and the people of Israel to build his tabernacle. Now, the task, the work of building the tabernacle was completed, and we see where God approved of it by allowing his presence to dwell in it. Now, in 1 Kings 7 verse 40, it says, so Uram finished all the work. Uram was employed by King Solomon to build the temple. Now, what does finish mean? In Hebrew, kala is the word for finish, and it speaks to perfection. We see where the temple and the tabernacle were built to perfection. Why? Because all the instructions came from the one who is perfect, God himself, the God who is filled with truth. Now, John 19 verse 30 tells us that Yeshua said, it is finished, and then he died. Finish in Greek is teleo, and it means perfected, to complete, to fulfill, so that the thing done corresponds to what has been said, to perform the last act which completes a process, to execute closure with all its results, reaching the aim. Now, even in Genesis 2 verse 2, God finished his work. So we see where God had a work to do, Yeshua had a work to do, Moses had a work to complete, and Huram had a work to complete, and all of them finished. They completed the task that was given to them. Now, what task are you given? Have you completed it? Or have you been procrastinating? Have I been procrastinating as to the task, the work that God has given to me or to us? Each and every one of us are given a task. Now, the truth is, God has already equipped us with the skills and the abilities needed to complete the task. He has placed purpose in us. That is why we are able to fulfill and accomplish the task he has set us to do. Now, Yeshua, who is described as the Passover lamb, had to go through his fair share of challenges. And yes, he went through it, but at the end of his life, he said, it is finished. Now, if Yeshua didn't complete his task, then we would not be able to the benefits from what he did. And as we are in preparation for Passover, we are grateful that Yeshua, upon hearing, and answering to the call of God on his life, he came to the end of his life and declared, it is finished. It meant that the purpose that God has sent him on earth to accomplish, that is, dying for us, sinful and wretched. He accomplished it. And we can bask in the goodness of God and rejoice that our sins are forgiven. Now, teleo, the Greek word for finish, and kala, the Hebrew word for finish, means that a thing is done and it corresponds to what has been said. Who speaks? God speaks. And there is confirmation, there is proof to what God says. God spoke to Moses and there was proof. The tabernacle was built. Solomon was the one who built the temple. He employed Huram. Huram carried out the necessary work. It was completed. The God we serve created the universe, and there's evidence that his work was complete. His work was finished. There is proof. Yeshua, the Passover lamb, came, delivered us from our sin, and there is proof. Now the tabernacle and the temple were finished, were completed. Hence, the children of Israel were able to offer their sacrifices, and the high priest was able to represent the people in the presence of God in the most holy place. All of this points to our redemption. Yeshua finished his work, meant that our redemption is sure and our redemption is secured. It is finished.